to the Business and Bubbly podcast. This is the place for women in business who are on the journey of building their big ideas and want to have fun along the way. It's for those of us who also know we aren't meant to do business or life alone. Hi, I'm Charity Majors, your host and the founder of Business and Bubbly. Think of this kind of like the can I pick your brain chats that you've always wanted to have with those who are doing epic things, plus business besties, hype girls, and getting into massive action towards your next big idea all in the same place. Oh, and bubbles, because if you're not having fun along the way, you're not doing it right. Together, we'll unlock what it means to be seen, known, heard, and championed all along the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and being a woman in business building big dreams. Each week, I'll bring you a quick sip business tip, as well as interviews from top experts that make you feel like you're getting bottle service for your business. We're having the raw and real conversations and chatting about all the things, the messy middle, the pivots, scaling, the good days and the bad days, because here we do real. It's where we can work hard, play hard, cry it out, and dance it out all at the same time without being judged. This is a place where we are in the arena together and we are each other's biggest fans because most of us have enough comments from the cheap seats. It's where our too much is par for the course and where the gaps of our not enough are filled in by the other epic women that are around us. It's where we can be unapologetic about the mission we are on, about the big dreams on our heart, and the business we are building without having to be perfect or have it all together, or even pretend to. It's a supportive community where business is being done amongst like-minded women, because when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. It's a place where you have the support around you to get out of your comfort zone and go after your big ideas, because even when you fail forward or when you reach the top, you know it won't be alone. Also, if you know anything about me, you'll know that I'm obsessed with creating platforms that lift up other women to be seen and heard and known. So with that in mind, I'd like to invite you to list your business on our directory called Find Women in Business. All you've got to do is text the word directory to 833-231-8098, and I'll text you the link back to get your free listing. This is also a great way to connect with other women in business from around the world, so definitely check it out. And now let's get to the good stuff. Grab a glass of your favorite beverage, Prosecco, bubbly water, or whatever your flavor is, and let's dive in. Are you with me? Here we go. Hello, business BFFs. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Charity Majors, and I'm super excited to have a special guest on the show today. Now, her name is Lehi Kafri, and is not only like a super incredible woman to know, but I'm just going to read you her bio really quick as she jumps on. But Lehi, she helps crash dieters break away from their vicious cycles by teaching you how to eat and train in a way that fits into your life. So no more chicken and broccoli on day's end, no more slaving away for hours on the treadmill or Stairmaster, no more strict diets that damage your metabolism and mindset around food. There is a better way. And Lehi is here to share some really fun tips about that, like especially for us as women in business, right? Like that's super important for us. And so Lehi, thank you so much for being here. It's always so fun to connect with you and chat with you. And I'm excited for our conversation today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to dive into this, especially for just women who they want to do it all. They feel like they can't. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it all. And I'm a living example, especially now, because I actually have taken on a lot more responsibilities just in my own life. And so definitely here to crush a lot of myths, but my main goal is just to educate women in knowing like they don't have to diet the rest of their lives. They can still have the wine, still have the champagne and bubbly, and absolutely kick ass at everything. So
I love it. I love it. Well, so people, they're obviously like hearing some really fun things about you, the incredible things that you're up to, especially helping us as women in business. But it wasn't always like that for you. So why don't you kind of go back a little bit in your journey and share like what got you to this point? Like, why are you passionate about this, and how has it helped really help you in your life and being this amazing businesswoman as well, who has some incredible like online programs, all that fun stuff, which we'll talk about later. But
yeah.
To give us a little bit of the backstory of what helped you get here.
Absolutely. So my story, I mean, what got me here was the fact that I had a problem. I had an issue. So back in high school, I was in gymnastics, and my schedule was 6 days a week, 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours a day training. So I literally at that point could eat whatever I wanted and still had a six pack. And I just thought that's how it was. Fast forward, graduated, ended up going to the Israeli army at 18. And yeah, my dad is Israeli, my mom's American, so I have dual citizenship. And so I went and did that. Very stressful, but very rewarding at the same time. And I kind of like fell into training again. So I was a fitness trainer in the army. But I realized that I had to be super strict with the way I ate because I started just gaining weight and I couldn't control it. So I ended up kind of going down the dark path of like trying every fad diet, every fat loss magical pill. Like if it's been out there, I've tried it. So I'm going to save all you ladies the heartache and the stress. I've tried it all. Trust me. And when I came back, I was kind of like, I got to learn how to like control my own body because like, this is not normal. Like I can't do this. And so I actually went to school for kinesiology for my bachelor's. And then I got my master's in exercise science because I was just like, I have to figure out a way. And so I've literally been at both extremes, you guys. I've been at, chubby and unhappy, and I look like a little Shetland pony because I'm 5 feet tall, and I was just so like but yeah, and it was not great because I was like, well, I'll eat whatever I want, I don't even care. But I did care. Why? Because I wouldn't go out with my friends. I tried 20 different outfits on, still not feel good about myself. So that was not a happy state. So I went the other way, totally extreme, did bodybuilding, bikini competition, got super freaking shredded. Like I'm talking six pack, tiny, but I wasn't happy then either. So I realized, oh my God, like I have a six pack, I'm super shredded, but I have zero social life because God forbid I go out and have, popcorn at the movies. Couldn't trust myself to do that. And my relationship sucked because my body fat percentage was so low, I had like zero sex drive. So could not enjoy my own relationship either. So I realized at that point from both extremes, I'm not happy with either. There has to be a balance. And so that became like my mission is like, I'm going to find the balance where I can have a margarita, but I can have a body that I can like feel sexy in. And so that's when I really just started working with clients. I was a personal trainer at a Gold's Gym. And I started doing just trying things out, like what works, what doesn't. And what I realized is nutrition is paramount in any type of fat loss journey you have, but also having a good relationship with food. And nutrition is kind of hard to master if you have a screwed up relationship with food. And I had both. So at that point, I was like, I need to create something that basically, gives people the freedom to have what they want, but also like have a structure to adhere to. That's fairly easy to follow. And so that's kind of where I just started developing really simple steps and simple ways to just curate your own specific lifestyle. And on top of that, I was just like, we all have our own ideal body. So what I thought that would make me happy was a six pack, when in reality, I was miserable with a six pack. And so what I realized is like, oh my gosh, when I got to the healthy weight that I was comfortable at, I realized okay, I just need a flat stomach to feel sexy and to feel happy and to feel confident. I don't need a six pack. So at that point, I was like, boom, there it is. Like, so I think as women, we have to really focus on what is our ideal, not what's the, obviously I wanted to be a Victoria's Secrets model, but I'm 5 feet tall. Giselle has 10 inches on me. So it was also looking at girls and women that had my actual body type, that were 5 feet tall, that were small. And I tell my other clients that I'm like, if you're 5'6", why are you having 1,200 calories? Like, you need more than that. I eat more than that. I'm 5 feet tall. So it really was about like, what's your ideal? What does your schedule look like? And let's actually work a system into that. Because so much of the time we choose a diet or we choose a crazy workout program and try to fit our life into that. And it's not sustainable. So my biggest teachings and where I got to where I am now is, how do you create sustainability around your health?
Oh, I love that so much. And there's so many really great nuggets and like rabbit trails that we could go off. So I actually want to go back to what you were saying about this. It's kind of this theme of like happiness and confidence is an inside job, right? Because you've been at both extremes of like, oh, like the chubby girl, like not really happy in her body, and that showed up as like, oh, like changing your outfit a bunch, or yeah. I know for moms, like I'm a mom, like it's pretty typical to like hide behind your kids in pictures, or like you just always have all the pictures of the kids but nothing of yourself, or yeah. Like for you, it was like, oh, I don't want to go out with my friends, or maybe it's, I don't want to like go to the pool, right? It's summer, like, oh no, that's okay. Like, right. So it can show up like that when we aren't aware that we actually just aren't happy with ourselves. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side of the extreme of like, yeah, you had this rockin' body, but you couldn't even like enjoy life. Like, yeah. Like, so how, like, if there maybe are women that are listening to this and they're like maybe recognizing themselves in some of these different extremes, what would be the first thing that you would share with them about, because I'm such a firm believer that like happiness and confidence, that it really is that, it's that inside job first. Yeah. And then, right, then we like match the outside type of a thing. So right. Let's just kind of have a conversation around that first and start there.
Yeah, absolutely. So my first thing that I recommend, and that I put every single client that comes to me, every single I run virtual boot camps too. So every single boot camper that comes to me, I tell them all the same thing. Like, we're going to start with one thing, because everybody tries to do this all or nothing mindset. And right there, you are failing. So ladies, please just give yourself some grace and start with one thing that you can do for a month, that you're like, it's just an added thing. And I want you guys to start thinking, not, because when you think of like losing weight and getting in shape and getting healthier, we always go to the negative of, what do I need to cut out? What do I need to take away? Squash that. Start with, what can I add to my daily life that's going to enhance it? So that's good. I always say start with one thing, and usually the first thing I start with is water. Like, it's so simple, it's so innate, you're going to be doing it anyway. It shouldn't, be too crazy, but I always tell my clients, like, you need to be hydrated, because hydration equals energy, equals everything you're going to be productive around in whatever you do. And if you're dehydrated, not going to really function at your most optimal. So I always say start with water. And if I usually will say like 90 ounces or more to start with, but if you guys want specific, take your body weight and do half of it in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water daily. And a lot of my clients, they'll be like, well, what if I forget? I'm like, you have a phone. Put 3 reminders, 9 a.m., afternoon 12, and 3 p.m., and try to get your 90 ounces of water in before then. Because if you can do that, then that's one thing. And when you start doing that day in and day out, it becomes second nature. Well, when that becomes second nature, let's add something else. Let's add, 10,000 steps a day. Whether you have your phone that tracks that, whether you have a pedometer, but people underestimate walking. And because we live such, fast-paced techie lives now, where we don't really have to per se move as much, start moving more, and you can just walk. Anybody can walk, and it's so underrated. So I mean, walk the dogs, take a walk after work. Like, you can walk, and a lot of people just think they have to do some crazy CrossFit workout in order to, lose weight. No, like, you could literally walk your way to fat loss. Trust me, I had a client that she did not like exercise, so I put her on her nutrition plan, and then I just said, the only thing I ask is that you walk 10 to 15,000 steps a day. That's it. That's what you got to do workout wise. And she lost 15 pounds in 3 months and has kept it off. And it was from walking. Well, and her nutrition, obviously. But so, yeah, that would be my main thing, is look at what you can add to your daily life and start with one. And once you master it, start stacking. And so the term for it is habit stacking. But really that's what it is, because you want to do what you can actually trust yourself to do. And the whole way we build confidence is by keeping our promises to ourselves. If you keep breaking promises to yourself, your confidence is going to start to crash. But if you make a promise to yourself and you keep it, confidence, 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 boom, you got confidence. So that would be my main starting point.
I love that. So I love what you're even saying about doing things that are sustainable, right? Because it's like for the most part, like, like you've heard the saying, and I know for me, same thing too. It's like the hardest part is getting to the gym, right? It was like getting to the workout, like getting to the meal prep or to the whatever. And then you get there and then it's fine. So, but I love what you're saying about sustainability, like finding things that you're going to do, that you love, that make you feel good, that are added into your life, that are assets into your life.
Yes.
So what are some things that maybe you have found as a busy woman in business that has been sustainable for you? And then what are some things that you could recommend for other women, right, that are watching and listening to this, that would be sustainable for them? I know for me, it's like a couple little things of, right, like I always have my water bottle with me, right?
Nice.
Like that's
Yep.
like super sustainable, like, right? Or, it's like sustainable. It's like when I'm super active, like at different, I mean, I'm pregnant right now, so that's not necessarily applicable, but for us as women, like there are certain times of our menstrual cycle, of our monthly cycle, where yoga or a massage feels way better than doing like a HIIT workout. And so like I honor like those rhythms of my body, because if I'm like feeling super tired, I'm gonna be on my period, and I'm like, right, like the last thing I want to go do is a CrossFit workout. Like no, like I want to go do yoga and I want a massage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You bring a perfect point up, because last year, especially after the pandemic, like COVID, I really started paying attention to more like getting super health conscious about specific things. And our cycle as women, there are going to be sections of our cycle, phases, where we're going to have a lot of energy and then we're not going to have too much energy. And so if you can start tracking your cycle, and I use Natural Cycles app, it's amazing. But if you can start tracking your cycle and you can figure out like when your phases are, you can mirror those workouts and those like that activity level during that. But I mean, an easy way to also do it is listen to your body. If you're tired, like yesterday, I worked way past, the normal 5 o'clock cutoff. I was on my laptop till like 7:30 p.m., realized like I'm starving. I did not plan my day properly, and I'm not going to go to the gym to work out. But what can I do? I took a walk. And I took my dogs, and it was fantastic because I was able to come back and I was relaxed. I was like, I still move my body. I still got some fresh air. And I call that a win. And then guess what? Today I hit it super hard in the gym because I had my energy. I had my day planned better. So I'm hinting right now to, if you guys plan it, it will happen. But when it doesn't fall into place, just remember to have backup ways that isn't going to like kill you. And so, yeah, that's another thing. When it comes to working out, you guys find, just like with nutrition, find what works for you. With workouts, find what works for you, because I used to always think that, cardio was going to help me lose weight, hours and hours of cardio. Well, I will tell you, in college, I did 2 hours of cardio 6 days a week, and I stayed the exact same weight. Did not change. Why? Because my nutrition was crap in college. So that just goes to show you can't out exercise a bad diet, and cardio isn't necessarily the answer. I'm going to say something that's super unpopular that probably fitness people will be like, what are you saying, Lehi? But HIIT workouts, not necessary. Not necessary. Sometimes not even good for us as women, because it can raise your stress levels, and if your hormone levels are raised for stress, like cortisol, you won't lose weight. You won't lose fat. So I always say, like, if you enjoy running long distance, bless your heart. If you enjoy HIIT workouts, 5 days a week, bless your heart. Like, that's amazing. Props to you. But do what you actually feel good with, and that just you can enjoy doing, and you can do 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Yeah. So like my whole thing is, I was a gymnast. We do not do cardio. We have short bursts of energy. So for me, I knew cardio wasn't something I want to do, and I knew HIIT training was just draining me. So what I did was I was like, well, I know nutrition's 80%. So if I can master that, I can really dictate exactly what I want to do fitness-wise. And what I love to do is lift weights. So I literally have told my clients, you can do zero cardio if you want and still have the body of your dreams if you lift weights. And they're like, what? So yeah, it's all about knowing how to balance and structure what's going to work for you, because what's going to work for you is not going to work for somebody else. I have clients that they want to do HIIT training because it's a stress release. I have clients who love running because they like marathons. It's just like, that's fine. Do it if it serves you, but don't do it if your goal is to lose weight, because there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and we'll figure out one way that works for you.
Yeah. Oh,
so that would be my advice for sure on that.
That's so good. And I love what you said of where even if your day fell apart and you didn't plan very good and whatever, and it's like you asked yourself, like, you didn't get down on yourself as far as like, oh, like I can't go to the gym, and like now all of a sudden we go into this shame cycle. But I love what you said of like, what can I do?
Yeah.
Like, that is a really, really powerful question. So if you are, watching this or listening to this, like ask yourself, like, okay, well, maybe if my day didn't go as planned, and this is like, could be totally applicable, like, for everything in life, right? Like,
absolutely. Everything.
I didn't hit the business goal. Oh, I didn't, whatever. Like, right. Like, what can I do?
Yep.
And in the allotted, right, it was 7 or 8 at night, and you're like, okay, what can I do now? Right? Like, take a walk, right? Or I can stretch, or I can, do, like, what can I do? And I love that, because that's such a, like, it gets our brain operating in that problem solving, which our brain loves to do. So good. I love this. Yeah. Well, Lehi, I'm sure people are going to want to learn a lot more about you and your awesome online programs, and how you are really able to serve women in business, and especially with your nutrition. I know you've got some incredible nutrition recommendations and programs that you bring people through. And like you said, even in the beginning, that it's especially for us as busy women who, we've got all the things going on, and like what you said, like, it's got to be sustainable, and we've got to enjoy it, and it's got to work in the midst of our life instead of it running our life.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
How can the women find you, follow you, get a hold of you, dive into your world before we end out this awesome interview?
Yeah, absolutely. So I hang out on Instagram a lot. So Lehi_Kafri is my Instagram handle. I'm on Facebook as well. And both platforms will have a link to my website, which is just lklifestylemethod.com. September 1st, I will be debuting round 7 of my virtual boot camp. So if you are a busy woman or man and you can't get to the gym, these workouts literally were born out of COVID, because, gyms were shut down. So these workouts are from my living room to yours, and all you need are dumbbells and resistance bands. They were a hit with all the new moms, because all the new moms were like, I'm putting baby down for a nap, and I get a 30-minute workout right on my laptop in my living room, and I can do it with you. So that's something that I created just to take out travel time to the gym, you know, that you don't know what to do, I literally do it with you. And like my OG clients love watching me suffer. I almost think that's why they keep like asking me to do more, because I took the virtual boot camps out, and because gyms opened back up, and then they were like, when do you bring that back? And I was like, wait, you want them back? They're like, yeah. So
yeah, we like to see your work too.
I created that for the easeability of doing it on your own schedule. They're 30 minutes. Round 7 will start, you know, September 1st. So feel free to message me and ask about that. And then right now, I am revamping a few things for a membership to be more inclusive of everything that I usually offer to my one-to-one clients. But if you want a nutrition consult, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to do that. And if you are in Business and Bubbly or thinking of joining, when I do go for my own presentation at Business and Bubbly, I will be delivering a couple of really good consults and freebie stuff that usually only my one-to-one clients get. So you should join.
Love it.
I got the goodies. I'm bringing them.
Okay, last piece of advice. What would you say to the women that are watching, women in business? Yes. They are, you know, they're doing all the things. They're on the go. To stay consistent or to reach their health goals, what would you say? One, like, nail it on the head piece of advice. What would you say?
I got you. So for this specific group, do not be afraid to delegate. And when I say delegate, I mean your significant other. So many of the times as women, we try to multitask and we try to do it all. The kids, the cooking, work, you know, everything under the sun. And I always ask my clients, like, well, what is your husband doing? Or what is your significant other helping with? And it's like, well, they're doing their thing. They're working. And I'm like, okay, well, in my house, I delegate things. And what happens is you have to remember, if you have a significant other, if you have your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, that is a partnership as well. And that partnership is you guys being a team and helping each other. So I very, very just big time will say delegate to your partner because they can help with so much. And on top of that, if you have the ability to outsource things that you don't need to be doing, whether it's cooking, whether it's cleaning, you know, there are services out there and affordable, just like your groceries now, that can be that. So do not be afraid to outsource or delegate, because that will help free up your time to do the things that will impact you. Because if you can't fill up your own cup, how are you supposed to fill up anybody else's?
So good. I love it. Okay, so ready for your challenge. As you were watching this or the replay or listening to this on the podcast, then your challenge for you today is to actually find that one thing that you're going to start to delegate or to outsource or to help support yourself, so that you can do some of the things that Lehi's sharing, so that you can make time for the things that matter most and that fill your cup, so that you are not giving from an empty well, from the bottom of the barrel. Right? We need you in the best of who you are and coming from your overflow. So I actually want you to find that one thing that you're going to start with, and I want you to tag us on Instagram. Okay.
Yes.
So you're going to rather write it in a story, like tag us on Business and Bubbly and tag Lehi on Instagram. And you're going to say, okay, here's my one thing that I'm going to delegate, or I'm going to start with Instacart, or I'm going to start with someone helping me with my laundry, or I'm going to hire someone to come help with my kids, or I'm going to get the person on, the virtual assistant to help me with the content, whatever that might be. You're going to find your one thing so that you can do your 30-minute workout. Okay. You're going to tag us on Instagram. We want to see it. We want to hear about it. We want to be your biggest hype squad, your biggest fans, and we are in your corner. And we love having you a part. So Lehi, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your expertise. You guys make sure that you find her, follow her, go dive into her world.
My Linktree has some freebies to delve into and dive into those too. So feel free to go check them out, guys. Get started.
Love it. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you do your challenge for today. And as always, cheers, cheers, cheers to your success.
Yep. Thanks, Jody.
Thank you so so much for listening to the show. I hope it brought some value and some fun into your business and life. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, and even share the episode with a fellow business bestie who you know will love it. It helps us continue to attract top-level guests and reach more and more women who are on their journey in business just like you. Remember that when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. Cheers to your success.